Hello and welcome to my Tafe video, my plant recognition video. Today we're going to be going over and identifying 10 different plants. Before we do that, however, we're going to do some work health and safety. Alright, so today we're at Rob Point Reserve. I've identified a few work health and safety issues. The first being the sun. It's pretty hot today, so I've got my hat on, got long pants, long sleeve, a bit of sunscreen on to help with that. Some other environmental issues that I've identified would be some fallen branches down the hill there, and some glass. So for that, I've got my work boots and some thick pants to protect myself. The only other thing is my gloves, and this is because some of the trees might have thorns or sharp bits that I need to watch out for. So moving on to my tools, equipment and resources. So today the tools, equipment and resources that I have that's going to help me identify these 10 plants. We've got a range. First off is my phone. I'm using an app called PlantNet. It's really good. You can just upload a photo and it'll spit up a few images with the names and the families of the plant. To help me further identify, I've got this book here, the Native Plants of the Sydney region. This is really good. This helps me identify different plants in a family and really narrow down to which one I need. So those two would be my main one. The second one I have is my ruler. This is what I use to measure the flowers and the leaves to help get an accurate measurement to help define which plant it could be. I also do have a magnifying glass, but unfortunately I did not bring that today. Alright, so today we're going to start off with this little weed here. This is the Aragon conitis, also known as the common name by horseweed. So this little plant here is native to Central and North America. However, it's naturalized itself throughout Australia and Asia. It's characterized by the leaves coming off, the single leaves coming off the stem here, and it's also in an upright position. It finds itself in the Astraeus family. Its habit being a herb, and its distribution is pretty much everywhere. It can be found in beaches, bushlands, and the forest. It was pretty easy to identify. All I had to do was upload a photo to PlantNet, and that was that. This plant is native to tropical America, and is found in part of the Maleficent family. It's an annual herb that can be found from anywhere from gardens, bushlands to beaches. Identifying features of this plant is the stems, which are prostrate, the leaves, which are ovate to round ovate. They're also classified as reniform, which can take the shape in a triangular or circle-like formation. After a quick inspection, I was able to upload the photos to PlantNet and easily get the result that these were in fact the mallard, American mallard. The next weed we'll be doing is the Cider acuta berm. This has a lot of common names, but today we're going to be using the common name wireweed. Once again, this weed is from Central America. So this is a perennial shrub, which is basically invading almost all the hot tropics and hot climates around the world. Wireweed is identifiable as a small, erect perennial shrub. It can grow up to anywhere between 30 to 150 centimeters long. This shrub is also part of the Malvice family and shares some characteristics. For example, it's fibrous to woody bark and its leaves being alternative, with at the moment not flowering but small yellow flowers. Its flowers are about 1 to 2 millimeters in diameter, really easy to identify on PlantNet. This plant here, we have a bush of Aragon bonaceris, also commonly known as fleabane. This is part of the Astraeus family and is found right around Australia and also around the world. This is one of the most invasive weeds and one of the most hardy weeds out there. It's characterized by its seed heads, which these little flowers are actually seeds which in the wind are thousands of little seeds that float off. So apart from its compact seed heads, the other identifying features of this plant is its upright position. These are also tap-rooted annuals in the daisy family. Using my equipment and PlantNet, I was able to identify this as fleabane. This lovely plant here is our first native on the video today. So this is the Acacia dilbata. It's part of the Fibance family. Its common names can range, but it's either going to be called a blue or silver water. So the distribution of this plant is really all around Australia, but focused primarily on the southeast coast of Australia. This is where you'll find it a lot. It's characterized by its bipinnate leaves, which resemble that of a fern, and they can range from a green color to a silvery gray color. Unfortunately, it's not flowering today, but if it was, its flowers are made up of racemose inflorescences, which are made up of smaller yellow to bright yellow globose flowers. With just a quick search through this book, I was easily able to identify this as a blue wattle. Our last non-desirable weed today is the Sponbocilus indicus, also known as smut grass. So this is part of the Poaceae family. So this plant is native to the tropical and warm climates of America. It also gets its name smut grass from when the top of the plant here, so when these inflorescences and top leaves are covered by a fungus called the black smut fungus. Smut grass is a perennial bunch grass. It's also got hairless leaves and its stalk, which is also hairless. They can range up to about 50 centimeters long, but in really hot climates they can get up to at least 150 centimeters. Anyway, all I have to do is upload this to PlantNet and use the identifiable features that I've seen, and we easily got it out as smut grass. This tree here is the Banksia interfolia, also known as the coastal Banksia. This tree here grows along the east coast of Australia and was one of 4 original Banksias collected by Sir Joseph Banks. It's also part of the Proteaceae family. This plant can vary in size and shape. It can go anywhere from 5 to 25 meters tall. So the leaves here are narrow obulate leaves, and its beautiful flower and fruit are called follicles. And so here's one here just for reference. So these can be hard and woody, and the flower can be made from thousands of small individual flowers grouped in pairs. Using my book that I have, The Native Plants of the Sydney region, I was able to determine that this was in fact a Banksia interfolia. Our next native plant is the Meluca antiifolia. This is part of the Matrace family. Its common names include narrowleaf paperbark or tea tree. Endemic to Australia, this plant is a small plant, a small tree. It can go up to about 7 meters tall. It's also characterized by its bushy crown and whitish papery bark, and once it gets its name from. Its leaves can be characterized as whorled or linear, and although not flowering today, the nuts it has are small cup-shaped nuts, which are about 2 to 3 millimeters in diameter, and its leaves anywhere from 10 to 25 mil in diameter. Its distinctive bark was a key factor in the identification of this plant. Our second last native today is the Meluca ericofolia. So this is also commonly known as the swamp wattle. Now it is part of the Matrace family or the myrtle family. So the swamp paperbark here today usually grows in swampy areas, which we are today. It is native to southeastern Australia. Key features used to identify this plant were its whorled leaves and its brown to papery bark. Although once again not flowering today, unfortunately it has creamy white little flowers about 5 mil in diameter. Using PlantNet and more importantly the book that I had, I was able to easily identify this plant in its family. The last plant we have today is the Acacia retinoides schultz. It's part of the Fabaceae family. Now, similar to our last one, because we're in a swampy area, this is a swamp wattle. This desirable native can grow up to 10 meters tall and has a rough, furrowed, brown to blackish bark. As you can see, its branchlets here are glabrose and also pendulous. Its inflorescences are racemose and can grow up to about 5 centimeters long. Using these previous characteristics and its dark green leaves, I was able to use my book and PlantNet to determine that this was a swamp wattle.